Our first speaker is Jerome Jules Clement, and his talk is entitled Storage Referential Based on iRise to Manage Patient Data in Gustave Roussy Comprehensive Cancer Center.
Hello everyone. So I will present today a use case of the IROS technology. The Gustave Roussy Comprehensive Cancer integrates care, research, and education. It treats all cancer types and is internationally recognized to treat rare and complex cancer. It combines medical, scientific, and technological excellence. We are in the context of clinical, translational, and exploratory research context that uses mostly large-scale genomic data and histology data. So the next-gen sequencing and the digital pathology generates terabytes of data. It requires high-performance computing infrastructure for the analysis, and we need to enable the retrospective analysis, such as the digital cohort. So the key data challenge are the multiple internal and external data sources, the diverse technology and timelines, and the complex clinical context. To address this, we develop a centralized storage referential that is flexible for project-specific analysis and built on iRods plus an external metadata catalog. I will describe later on. It allows long-term data preservation, traceability, and reuse, and of course, secure and controlled access. We are mostly working with a referential concept when we are addressing needs in Gustave Roussy Comprehensive Cancer Center. So you can see on the right the concepts. We are mostly working on patient, biosample, and biospecimens that are derived product of the biosampling and result. And to address those concepts, we have referential that are accurate for a specific domain area. And the key for us is to make each referential interoperable so that they rely on each other and we are not duplicating the data. And the other concept we are using is a project concept that is basically a set of content within each referential. So I will put the emphasis on the iRods file storage just after presenting a way we have developed to catalog the referential. So it is a top-level user interface. I am firstly showing you the user experience within the system. So one line in this table is one patient. And for one patient, that is basically a key, we grab the ECRF information, the result analysis, the biosampling, liquid, solid, the direct product, the biobanking, and the results that are managed by the iRods system. So we are able basically to catalog what we have on what. And if we select, for example, the solid samples. Yes, I just press OK. Okay, thanks. So I have hidden the identifier because it is a biomedical data, but the take-home message is we have the basic information about the sample, so its barcode and some features, and the link to the IROS protocol. So as I showed before, we can just present the data at the patient level, but when we can, it is presented at the biospecimen level. And this is a navigation link to the IROS referential. And for this, we have developed an internal web portal that depict how we organize the data. So all the data is flattened in a barcoded storage unit that are basically the barcode in the first column. And in this user interface, one line is one data for one particular patient. So for example, the first two lines correspond to the same patient, and there is two different sample type, LC and tumoral. And once again, we are presenting all the catalog internally, and for some data, as depicted with the little icon, I do have access. For other, I don't, but I know that it does exist. And one other interesting feature is that we can logically link the barcoded storage unit between each other for a matter of traceability. If we have derived data or some information we want to link without replicating them. And the last concept I want to show is a project concept that is basically a user group. But when you see about the counts, it is the connectivity of the data. So the two lines at the bottom has been produced in a particular context and they are not reused. And as you can see, some data are easily reused. When I select one storage unit, I can have access to some files that are registered in order to make them available through this portal. And for example, it is a raw FASTQ data for exome sequencing. And for this, the user can download it, but to be honest, we are using this portal to make available some reports, some PDF, and so on. But for the large scale data, it is within the HPC infrastructure they are used. And lastly, if I select the project detail, I see basic information. So the primary project of the data, because it arrive in the system in a particular context, and basic abstract and the users that do have access to this data. To summarize the IROS catalog application, so it is only depicting what we do have in the system, and so we have almost 1 petabyte of storage represented by more than 200,000 storage unit for almost 2,000 projects. We succeed in structuring more than 50,000 Gustave Roussy patients, and the user are the complete user over time, but we are about 100 active user within the systems that are analyzing the data daily. And this bar plot is depicting the distribution of those storage units. As you can see, there is a huge data diversity. and we have organized this data into the system to address the specific needs of each data storage. So now I will present what is behind. So we have an iROD instance with EasyLearn storage mounted, and we organize the data basically with two sets of user rights. So one admin group that is called system group, that are the who is writing into the system, and the project group is the consumer. So one storage unit is unique within the system. And prior to coming into iRODS, we are organizing by design the metadata in the dedicated metadata catalog. So the data manager or the automated agent has to firstly create the storage unit, so describe the data basically before importing the data. So it is then propagating into the iROD storage the collection and the good access right and the metadata catalog, enforcing also the vocabulary of the metadata that are then propagated to iROD. And the other element of the life cycle go in pass to read only the data set, just to make sure we are sharing reliable data, and adding some patient and sample information if it is possible. The end user experience, it is what we call the iRODS catalog application that is not truly based on iRODS, but mostly on the catalog. And at the end, it is sometimes downloading the real data file behind. And of course, the HPC user are doing basic iRODS operation to pull the data to the HPC infrastructure and work with the data. So the user access configuration is always mastered by the metadata catalog. We just have to create a project, add user in it, and affect storage unit in it. So the storage unit is never moving. It is just increasing for matter of user access. And as you can see, we can concurrently affect the same storage unit to many projects. Here is an example of how we create the storage unit into the metadata catalog. So it is basic information or basic traceability, who produced the data, what it is, and to which project it corresponds. We just have two dedicated structure, one for primary, so raw data, and another for analysis data, and we ask for the combination between Git repository and commit hash in order to track which process produces the data, and also we can reference the primary storage unit that has been consumed by this process. The output is basically one identifier that allow to build a unique URI within the system. And when we want to add patient and sample information, it is basically allowing interoperability with other referential. So basically, it is a set of key value or what identifier it is, and which is the value of this identifier, both at the sample and the patient level. And we have a mechanism of aliases that allow basically to add whatever we want as numbering the patient and sample. So to conclude, I will depict one use case of data lifecycle within the system. So we have automatized the import of the data for the local core facilities, but actually we have a lot of external provider. So when the external provider is recurrent, we can automatize, but sometimes we have to do the manual mode to import into the system, and it is the data manager that is working with. So I have my primary data. I want to compute this data, so I will get this data into the HPC infrastructure. Note that I have pre-created the storage unit that will be filled by the result. So I have the promise of the result, which is basically the barcode of the analysis. There is the analysis that has been done. Then, based on the checksum feature of iRods, we can delete the primary data that was temporary in the HPC node. We put the data into the centralized iRod system. And of course, we remove this data from the HPC node as well, because the source of truth is the iRod system. And then there is a little distance to present the data to end user interface based on its data types. So to conclude, the biomedical data growth require more than simple file storage. We work in production for more than 6 years. We first deployed in 2020, and we are moving to a new version of iRods these coming months. It centralizes heterogeneous data under unified governance, reduces the workload via automation of data management, promotes FAIR principle. And so we develop a scalable and long-term storage referential that is designed for omics and digital pathology. But actually, we are working with data as a file, so we can fit to every need that allow to work with data as files. It supports both routine clinical workflow and large-scale research, because we first work with research, clinical research, and we apply this system to routine care flux. It enables retrospective cohort building, and it improves the collaboration between the clinician and researcher. Thank you. Do you have questions?
All right. We have a question in the back.
Thank you very much. Given that you run the system for 6 years now, how do you deal with like long-term issues of data quality, data integrity, and maybe did you do migrations of the data and those kind of stuff? How do you make sure that the data stays consistent over the long time?
As I showed in my slide, we are when we put the data, it is with a checksum enforcement. So then we rely on the checksum that is in iRods.
Okay, just to make clear, I mean, I not mean bit integrity. I mean the metadata integrity, that the references are correct, that an FI is complete, that the whole schema is increased, that data quality is well enough.
So this actually we come with the whole team of the 4 data manager in Gustave Roussy, and there is manpower just to work with the data scientist, understand what it is, and describe the data and correct the metadata, because sometimes we do rely on external referentials that is reliable, and sometimes it is just a spreadsheet that we don't really rely on, but we are working with, and all along the way we are recalibrating the metadata vocabulary.
All right. Do we have maybe one other question, either in Slack or from the room? All right. Okay.